grate about half of it into the slaw. Give it color, taste, and nutrition. So I say mainly to get color. Okay, now this is a poblano chili. As I said, I might do it with a lot more zest, or even less if I'm going to be afraid that people will be frightened off by semi-challenging taste. This is not a hot pepper, but it's not a what's known as a sweet pepper either. It's the standard pepper used in Mexico for many, many, many dishes. Again, we don't want to dominate the slaw with any of these items. Okay, that's done. This is ready. I need a serrated knife here. I'm going to saute this. Cut it off this. I always use fresh corn because I don't like the taste of fresh corn nor frozen corn in any sort of salad type dish, and generally not for anything when I can have this. Okay, now I'm going to saute this and it'll go right into the slaw. Use a little bit of olive oil here. Definitely not a lot, less than a tablespoonful. The corn. Of course, I have plenty of spoons that will work on these coated pans. I don't want to scar a pan before it should be. As soon as one of these pans begins wearing, they need to be replaced because one doesn't want to be consuming the material of the coating. So be careful with them, and you can go many years with them. A little bit of garlic powder. Small amount of salt. Less than a half teaspoon. Just 4 or 5 minutes here. Definitely don't want to overcook this. It will take all of the tastes of the oil and the corn itself into the slaw. We can keep the dumplings on the back burner. And then we'll be ready to make the dressing for the slaw. Mix it around a little bit so we don't heat up anything too much from that corn. The coolness of the other vegetables immediately takes the heat away from the corn. First thing I want is the honey. This is a honey mustard dressing. You can buy honey mustard dressings from various manufacturers. A spoon for the mustard here. About 2 tablespoons of honey and about 2 tablespoons of the prepared mustard. You might also want to add some seeds in here. I just put celery seeds. There you could add poppy seeds. I'll put a little garlic powder here. Remember, no garlic salt. Don't want to add any more salt than we're controlling here. Okay, and we'll put the pepper on later. Okay, the vinegar is to give us this little brightness, sharpness, and that will finish the ingredients. Here, that was about. You could add other spices that you might enjoy. Some people like anise or other Mediterranean types of spices. Now we're ready to go in here. Corn sort of settled down there on the bottom, but I'll get it up on top. Excellent taste that came from it. The white meat here is about finished, and we'll move it over into the dumpling mix. We'll raise the heat a little bit to hurry these thighs along. Always want to make sure chicken is completely done. One always wants to make sure that we don't let this stick to the bottom. This is a protective surface that generally would protect from that, but we don't want it to ruin the quality of it, even though it won't burn there. So we just keep this loose from that while we get a little more cooking on the chicken thighs. The chicken breast tenders are already ready to go in there, and we'll finish with the thighs right here. Okay, we don't want to burn ourselves, so we try to protect from that. Taking these chicken thighs, putting them down in here, now that they're done. I want to leave this skin and fat out. If this were French cookery, I would be deglazing with wine, but really the objective here is to get all this good stuff into my dish. Going to enhance the flavor of the dish. We pour this into the dish. Stir this around again. We'll turn up the heat just for a while more to make sure we keep it that broth is instead of using that broth there is instead of putting chicken broth into the dish. That can be substituted for the browner items that are might not be the choice of some people to have those little bits in their dish. However, I find it flavorful and interesting as well. We like a lot of pepper. And as I say, I like it coarse ground, but you can do your dish a little bit differently if you wish. The peas are ready to be spooned into the serving dishes after just a few more minutes of cooking here. This up now. First we'll take our slaw and put it into place on the plate. Keep it well to one side, and then we'll put the chicken. For myself, I'll serve up a thigh, plenty of dumplings, maybe one piece of white meat. Sort of keep it in this side and letting most of the fluid flow back into the dish. As I said, we like to serve these green peas on top of that dish. Now that's done and ready to serve. Order for two. So this eater prefers the white meat. That's why we cook both. And lots of dumplings.